enough about that. Fox News alert, a major cyber attack last night at 8 o'clock delayed Donald Trump's big return to X, formerly known as Twitter, last night, nearly shutting down his interview with Elon Musk.
So once the interview got going, Trump laying out his vision for America and calling out Kamala Harris.
Madeline Rivera has the details. Madeline.
Guys, good morning. After struggling with technical issues that delayed their interview by 40 minutes, former President Trump and Elon Musk delved into a roughly 2-hour-long conversation. Trump began by talking about his assassination attempt last month, saying he plans to return to Butler, Pennsylvania. Listen.
We're going back to Butler, and we're going to go back in October. These are incredible people, like the three that, in the case of Corey, killed, and the other two. The families are, I got to know them a little bit, and the families are great. But we're going back to Butler.
And he touched on inflation, top of mind for voters.
The thing that they really is making them angry is what Kamala and Biden have allowed to happen to the economy. It's a disaster with inflation. The inflation, it doesn't matter what you make. The inflation has eaten you alive.
Trump also took aim at Vice President Kamala Harris for not doing an extended interview so far, more than 3 weeks after launching to the top of the Democratic ticket.
You think Biden could do this interview? Do you think that Kamala could do this interview? They would take a pass on you.
No, they could not.
It's pretty sad when you think that somebody that does this for a living can't answer a question or is afraid to do an interview.
Musk invited Harris to speak with him on X too, something she's unlikely to do given her criticism of Trump and Musk as, quote, self-obsessed rich guys who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024, unquote. Speaking of technical issues, the FBI says it is probing an earlier hack of the Trump campaign and an attempted hack of the Biden-Harris campaign.
Like a grinder ad on the moon for Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Good morning. Good morning to the brigade. How you doing this morning? Ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, the internet is a battlefield and Donald Trump is winning an army of supporters and a battalion of supporters. Charging into a space last night and making it the most listened to interview maybe in history. We'll go ahead and check the scoreboard. 1 billion views. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk's conversation with Donald Trump goes viral, even though they tried to attack and take the space down. Ladies and gentlemen, the Streisand effect is real, and we are really here for it. We were live last night listening in. It was very exciting. We'll bring you all of the important updates about that today, Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. Also, Donald Trump sues the DOJ over the Mar-a-Lago raid, as he right ought to do. The great executive producer of this program, ALX, the Lord, joins the show. ALX, of course, famous for being one of the icons on President Trump's phone last night as he talked with Elon Musk, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to hear from the man who was brought back to X the same night as Donald Trump. And the singularity continues. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. So I want to talk to you about something personal here. We never, I have 3 kids. I never talk really about their health or anything having to do with them getting sick or any problems. I mean, those are the kind of things you keep to yourself, right, as a parent. However, over the reason there was no show yesterday and over the entire weekend, and you know, sometimes you hear from us on the weekends. We're going live. We're flowing. The energy is kinetic. We're absorbing it. You know, we were not online this weekend. I want to explain what happened, and I want to show you a little image here. My son, he's 11 months old. We're not trying to overshare. I tell you these things. I want to say this again. I tell you these things because my wife, who is a critical care trauma nurse, she and I decided that this was an important message to send out, one, to parents, but then also, you know, I'm a Christian. I'm just a simple Christian, and I believe in the power of faith. And those two things united have fused together and have sort of encouraged me to explain very briefly to you why we were offline and what happened to our family over the weekend. My son is 11 months old, as I said. He's very active, and he gets into everything. And that's okay. That's the way it goes. The body was designed, right, for kids to sort of be munching on things. That's how you explore, right? You sort of take a bite out of virtually everything, fistful of dirt or a toy or whatever. My son is also very, very healthy, and we heard him begin to wheeze over the weekend, and he was having trouble breathing. Now, this could be just like a flu, right? Or the children, it's called croup. This could be like something that is just a virus. It's flu season, right? It's middle of August, right? Getting into the fall. So we thought that would be, that was perhaps what it was. We went to emergency care, and my wife sort of monitored him over the next 24 hours on Saturday through Sunday. There were no symptoms, though, and my wife sort of realized on a FaceTime call with an emergency doctor, this seems like a foreign object that he's got stuck in his lung. We go to the emergency room, and we do x-rays. Got to tell you, young man, if you get a chance, go ahead and marry a nurse, all right? If you get a chance, marry a nurse, because it will make parenting so much easier. If you can, make parenting so much easier for you. Here's what happened. The x-rays can't show you something that's not metal. And so we get the x-rays done. Emergent ER doctor says, we don't really know what's in there. But my nurse wife said, through my intuition, and I just know, moms just know, right? And they just like lock in. And if you're a mom, you know this. We all have mothers, you know this. Moms just know, right? It's the Holy Spirit. That's literally the power and energy of the Holy Spirit. And so my wife just locked in. She's like, no, there's something in there. I know my kid, and I know that there's something in there, even though you can't see on the x-ray what it was. So we go, and the doctor goes ahead and looks. This is a procedure. This procedure requires them to take the child and you get an IV, you get you have to go under general anesthesia, and what that does is it is, well, traumatic. You hand your child over to strangers, and your child is crying, and it's horrifying. It's a horrible age because they can't speak to you. You can't calm them down with words. You can't explain what's going on. It's just awful. Doctor comes back, and after 90 excruciating minutes tells us, you know what? We got problems. There's a crayon stuck way up in his left bronchi. I'm no physician, right? Like way up in his lung, left side, which is hard to get into. And he must have swallowed a crayon and literally inhaled a crayon. And it is stuck there, and because it's a crayon, it's melting, and we can't pull it out like we would a penny or like a Monopoly piece or something. And so we're going to have to wait for a specialist to come in tomorrow and see if they can get it. So we wait. And you spend that night standing over your child's crib, and you're just praying. And you have nothing else. You won't sleep, can't sleep. Your kid's hooked up to the monitor, and you just pray over your child's crib. And it's tough. It's tough to see your kid. It's tough to see your kid looking like this. In bed, hooked up to the machines, especially when he's so young. So, we spend that night the sleepless night in the hospital, and we wait for Monday morning. This is, of course, why we didn't have a show yesterday. And the specialist, it's called a pulmonologist. He's a pulmonologist, and he specializes in children. He comes in, he says, you know what? I have faith that I can try again, and we can do it. Again, it's excruciating for the child to go under, the anesthesia and to be handed over to an operating room. And so we go back in, and let the, you hand your child over to near strangers, right? And you just pray, and that's all you have. It's all you have is your faith in God. That's it. That's it. Like, I love you. I love this team. I love the movement that we're building. You understand, like, this is all for our children, like, together. Do you have kids? Do you want kids someday? Like, that's your legacy. That's your legacy in this life. And you end up doing everything for your children when you have them. And there's not all the king's horses and all the king's men can stop a determined parent from doing everything they can to save their children. And the alternative, of course, to this is they do surgery and they take out part of my son's lung. If they can't get it, they have to go in there and remove the foreign body, the piece of crayon. And so they, we sent him into the operating room again for the second day. And there is just no worse pain than seeing your child suffering. Have you seen your child suffer? Have you seen small children in your life who maybe have had health problems? It is tough. It is so unbelievably tough. And you can't hand them over to man. Quite frankly, you won't. My wife wouldn't let go. My wife wouldn't let go of my son when the doctors were coming to get him. There's like something beast mode. There's an animal mode that you get into, and you cling on for dear life. And so you hold on, but what you have to give is faith in God. I'm a Christian, so you have to practice your faith. Your faith without works, without practice, is nothing. And so you have to just hand them over, right? And you have to have faith not in man, as we talk about on this program a lot, faith in God. And so we do that once more. Our child goes in, and another excruciating. You just stand there pacing. Staring at the board that shows the status of your kid in the operating room, if they're in the operating room or if they're out. It goes on for another 90 minutes, which is not good, right? Quick procedures are quick procedures are good. Long procedures tend to not be good. And you just pray. And I'm telling you, here's what I want to tell you. Two quick things. One is a warning and one is a blessing. One, lock in with your faith, because faith is real. Lock in with your faith and know that God is real, Christ is king, and that God listens. And you get what you get what you seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open unto you. And so we knocked as hard as we could, and we just prayed. And it's strange in life when you actually feel when you feel a force stronger than like normal forces on earth, and you feel like the spiritual force, and it's peaceful and it's calming. Have you ever seen somebody in hospice, right? And they've lived a good life, and they're like at peace, and it's calming. Like the actual spirit of God is peaceful and not terrifying or horrifying or like put you in the ground. You're brought to peace. And I was brought to peace, and you live your faith. Doctor comes out after 90 minutes, and he has with him a small vial, and inside of that small vial is the crayon, and that little yellow crayon. One, if you're a parent, maybe rid your house of crayons. I think I'm going to be anti-crayon from now on. Not like a thing that's going to be a market, not the thing that we're going to talk about often on this program, but holy smokes, go follow my wife at Nurse Kate on Instagram. She's going to go in on these crayons. They just get crumbled up. Most houses have crayons, and the kids can quite get hurt. And now we're receiving all these messages from other parents about this kind of stuff. But they got it all out. And the doctor said he was lucky. No, I said this was a miracle. I hugged the man. We broke down in real tears, both of us, my wife and I, just weeping. And you can see here my son recovering in my arms, and this is the best feeling. It's the best feeling on earth. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we were offline. I wanted to share this with you again. tell you that, like, what we always do a verse of the day here. This is us living out our faith, and this is us witnessing a miracle. The end. I'll say it, and I'm not gonna apologize for it. It's just a miracle what my family just went through. It's a miracle. They should have never been able to get that cran. They should have had to take out part of my kid's lung, maybe affect him for the rest of his life. And there's a lot of other very scary complications that happen when they have to do those kind of surgeries to little children. But instead, God saved my son. Instead, I believe that Jesus Christ, who came to this earth and who healed as a matter of his actions on this earth. So you read the New Testament, Christ is the healer. What does he do? Every single line and verse, he's healing people. He's healing, because that's actually how you witness, right? Like, in this broken world, you provide healing, you provide laughter, you provide joy again, you provide, like, the ability to, like, bounce up and back. And then the worst feeling is seeing your sick child inside of the hospital. The best feeling is hearing from a doctor that they're going to be okay. We got it. Pulmonologist worked for 90 straight minutes. He came out, he was profusely sweating. His hands, he said, were aching, but they were able to use every tool and every skill. And then miraculously, the crayon started to move. And now it sits in a little bottle in my home. And I'm going to put it in a shadow box. And it's going to, I'm going to mount it on the wall. I'm going to dip it in lacquer. We're going to hang it right on the wall. Pop, right up there. It's going to sit in my house. People are going to go by and go, what's that gross bottle? Shut up! That's the miracle. That's like an artifact from the Crusades for me, and it's like a physical manifestation miracle. We say often that we live in heightened spiritual times here. Final little shout out here. I want you to, one is marry a good woman. My wife is a nurse, but a good woman is the greatest blessing in life. And next comes kids, but you have to have the structure correct. Marry a woman who will stand by you when nobody else will, and a woman who loves her children and her family more than anything on this earth. And that's my wife, Nurse Kate. If you want to follow her, she has some great health advice if you're a young parent. Some stuff that we've learned the hard way. And then the final thing, I want to show you the last slide here, which is my son literally doing a dance as they kick him out of the hospital. As we get discharged, my son doing his dance moves. He's got moves like his dad. He inherited those. Yeah, definitely. He's got moves. He got moves like his dad. This is. Yep, that's it. That's the moves, ladies and gentlemen. So. This is a family. I consider you our family. This is our digital family, and so, there's a lot of people in the comment section that talk about their kids, their mom, their dad, and these are important. This is like the point, right? So watch out for crayons, parents. This is why we talk about this. 2, it's not just a Bible verse at the end of the show. We actually live this out. We actually live in the real world. Christ is actually king, and miracles are real. Miracles are real. And you should on your faith journey, you should find your faith. It will help you in times when everything seems lost. Because the next step was they were going to take a chunk of my kid's lung. And every doctor was saying they couldn't do anything about it. So miracles are real. So find your faith, find your rock, find a good woman. And then, most importantly, live that out, Like living that out for us. And the final thing, I know we've talked a little bit about this, but this is why we do the show. I mean, if you watch the show, we say this regularly, but let me just re-emphasize this. It's for my kids, right? Like, we want to save this country. Do a news and politics show here. We happen to actually be the largest show in the news and politics category on YouTube last month. So apparently it's resonating. Apparently you agree with us that the motivation should be to save the damn country for our children. Like, that should be the goal, right? Like, what else is there, in fact? Like, don't leave your children a heaping pile of garbage to inherit. That is a poor generation. You become a poor generation. So we dig our heels into this blessed dirt in this great land, and we fight for our kids. The end. That's it, right? So because of that, I felt the need to share this miracle with you, and I hope it uplifts you. And get yellow crayons. Get yellow crayons out of your house. No yellow allowed in the Johnson household. We are banning yellow mustard. We're banning Big Bird. We're banning Pikachu. We're going to ban yellow corn. Yeah, no moss and yellow lights. I don't know. Anyway, we are uplifted, and God is good, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, all right, here we go. No sleep, team no sleep, right? You spend a night in the hospital with your sick, you don't sleep. But we are ready to rock this morning. Everyone is safe, everyone's safe, discharged, at home. The girlies came back, my 2 daughters came back. They were all loving on Theodora this morning. And everyone is safe and happy and sound and in clean bills of health. All right. So family secure, ready to rock. And now we are back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Now we were back last night. We were home last night, and my son slept for like 16 hours straight. He came in and slept. He just went right to sleep and peacefully slept. So I said, let's listen to this Elon Musk space last night. We were live and we did record views. We've never seen anything like it. The entire world wanted to listen to Elon Musk and President Trump last night. It was so awesome. So awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk this morning said that maybe 1 billion people have seen this, have seen or listened to or gotten content from this interview, making it one of the broadest consumed interviews in human history, arguably ever. Combined views of the conversation with real Donald Trump, subsequent discussion by other accounts, are now 1 billion. And that's because we were streaming it, right? There were a bunch of other people streaming it. The actual X account saying that there were 73 million people who watched. Now, those are Super Bowl numbers, okay? Those aren't just like NFL Sunday numbers. Those are Super Bowl numbers for the entire country, 73 million. That's every single cable TV network combined at the same time with all of their lineups watching at the same time. Don't even do half that. We know this because we worked for cable news for like 3 years. Alex and I both did. So it's wild. Trump's conversation on X, it's generated a total of 998 million views. Whoa. I mean, we know that. We had almost 100,000 people watching the channels, multiple channels last night as we were broadcasting this space. It was pretty awesome. All of the press this morning. Hey, Alex, do you have a good haterade post on this? All of the media this morning are down bad. Dinosaur media, down bad. Why? I mean, they have to hate this because it means that they don't no longer get to be the middleman. Now, the corporate media is collapsing anyway. Part of that is what we do here, right? People would rather get their information from independent creators. I got no strings to hold me down. We are authentic with our audience. We tell you about what's going on with our family. We're streaming, right? This is streaming. This is like like last night we were streaming. Like we were just chatting, Like this is the way people like to consume information and consume news, and we're winning. But every corporate media headline yesterday was talking about how the space got off to a rough start. Now, here's what happened. And if you were watching live, you noticed, because we were talking about it, what happened was the spaces couldn't grow capacity. The people weren't allowed into the space. People couldn't log in. It took about 30 minutes to fix, and then millions of people were allowed in to listen to the space. That did delay the space by about 45 minutes. Delayed the space by about 45 minutes, and that's all you heard in the corporate media. So all the corporate media is like, there was a delay. You know what? Idiots. Okay, it's so disingenuous. I just got to speak from experience here because we did live TV. ALX and I had a live cable news program on Newsmax. No hate. Love Newsmax. They're still, I still have like wonderful anchors and family members over there. They're amazing. We love Newsmax. Just, we wanted to focus on that. We decided to pivot and focus over here. Before that, we work closely with Tucker. We know live TV. And there are mistakes that are made every second of every day on every show. There are major mistakes. Some of them are like glossier. Some of them have bigger production capacity to smooth over the mistakes, but mistakes are made all the time. Dude, you remember when Sean Hannity was caught chiefing? When he had a vape pen in? They go to Sean Hannity. You gotta grab me that. They go to Sean Hannity. He's like sucking down a vape. And he throws his vape. He's like, oh, whoa, we're live. There's mistakes made all the time. Bill O'Reilly, F it, we'll do it live. Remember that? This happens all the time. Like, so it's insane galaxy brain rot to be like, oh, Elon Musk, there was something difficult with his life. For instance, on this program, there's always mistakes. There's always mistakes. We just went live at the RNC. We're just letting her rip, you know? Like, that's just how it goes. The media totally just focused on the fact that the space was delayed for a little bit as they were capacity building. Elon Musk said it was a cyber attack. Whatever the reason was, this is the corporate media freaking out and screaming about it. Yeah, that Sean Hannity clip's amazing. If you haven't seen it, this is like one of the best. They come to Sean Hannity. He didn't know he was live, right? Here we go.
Uh-oh. Now our villain of the day.
I've been there. We've all been, like, you've all been there, right? You know, FaceTime. You ever accidentally FaceTime somebody? It's just the way it works, right? It's hilarious. Actually, it's funny. And it leads into the authenticity. It's what I want to talk with ALX about. And I think we're going to book some other cool streamers that are friends of us for the show. But you know, this is what authenticity is. I don't mean like I don't mean like bomb you guys with like, you know, intimate stories about, you know, this is a news and politics show, but it's also a show about like us and why we're doing this stuff. And it's authentic. It's authentic. I want you to know these things about my life. It's authentic. That authenticity is actually, that is the fuel of the internet. Like when Donald Trump's dancing with Aiden Ross. I don't know if we have that clip. Yeah, sure as heck do. Like when Donald Trump's, like, give me that. When Donald Trump's going like this with Aiden Ross on the stream. Oh, it's not actually the dance. It's a side. Yeah, okay. Do we have the dance? Or is it just the B-roll? All right, that's fine. Either way, you guys saw this. Trump gets a Cybertruck. They play some tunes. Donald Trump does the dance. It's freaking awesome. And they were live the whole time. You don't know what's going to happen. It's great. Like, these people, they're so dumb. It's why you're going out of business, dinosaur corporate media. You're going out of business. Your days are numbered. Your days are already done. You don't realize that your industry is already gone, right? You're just living in the vapors of what's left. It's very sad. You're living in the corpse of better people and better men who came before you and actually built the industry, did good reporting, did actual journalism, and now it's done. You're living in a husk. There it is. Okay, we pop it up. We do the dance. We do the dance. Come on. White boy summer. Here we go. White boy summer. That's right. White boy summer. Okay, I had to do the Theo dance. That's the Theo dance. Okay, that's Johnson's dance. Ladies and gentlemen, anyway, it was so cool and it was so awesome. And if you were actually listening to it as hundreds of millions of people did, then you heard like really neat little behind the scenes, like was it the best way to describe it was like a conversation with Trump, like talking with his buddy Elon, which is something that Elon said before. Elon said that Trump just calls me out of the blue. And it's like, what's up? Forgive me. Sorry about that. I'm getting too excited here. This is like where Trump did the interview. Let's just play these clips back to back. Trump's just like chatting with Elon Musk. Let's go.
He actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him. You know, both sides. Yeah. That was a hard thing to do. Unification.
Yeah, no. I mean, if we could just record that conversation
Trump
and post it, it would have been
with an oil painting.
I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And
oh yeah, Donald Trump sitting there with a giant oil painting of himself wearing a white V-neck sweater with white, crispy white pants. And here's some close-up photos. I want to make sure that we are able to zoom in here and enhance. Come on, baby. Let's go. Zoom. Give me the zoom. Give me the enhance. Get me that zoom. All right. Show me. Show me. Let me see. There it is. Come on, zoom, enhance. Can we get it? Give me that phone. Give me that phone. You know this was coming. Look at that, right there. Look at that icon right at the very top, right there. Our boy, ALX. You watch this program regularly. You know it's your boy, ALX. ALX right up at the very top. Now, I don't really know how these avatars, populate. I'm not exactly sure. I know that if you're a speaker, I don't think ALX was a speaker, presumably they just like presumably it's like who's the dopest account that we could put up at the very tippy top, and that's ALX. Maybe Trump just like secretly low-key loves ALX's account. ALX confirmed Trump doesn't follow his account. Maybe that will happen soon. We're not exactly certain. Why not invite ALX onto the stream right now with the, do we have the ALX update? Oh yeah, okay, all right, baby. We'll welcome ALX, the man who is at the top of Trump's Spaces feed, and we'll go through some of the best clips from yesterday. The ALX update right now. Come on.
How we doing?
Come on, right there. Okay, so Trump doesn't follow you. Do you know how these how the avatars are populated? He must just love your account.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's just like interactions. Usually, if you do follow people, though, they do populate near the top. But I think it might also be mutuals with the speakers. So if the fact that Elon follows me might give me more preference over summer users, but it's different on everybody's phone though, because I've seen it, differently on different screenshots. So who knows?
Yo, it was awesome last night. I mean, I don't understand. There's been a lot of times when I don't quite understand like the ecosystem of corporate media, but seeing all the haterade out there this morning, like as sure as the sun rising in the East, there were a slew of corporate media headlines saying how terrible this space was and how awful it was. No, man, if you listen to it, that was without question the most fascinating. People would pay $1 million or more for a ticket to just listen to these two guys like talk on stage like that. And they were doing it for free out in the public. It's great. I mean, this is great.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like we were talking about last night, there is an argument for the fact that there wasn't video. I know a lot of people like video and that's more engaging, but having no video on Spaces has a more intimate feeling and people tend to open up more. And it's, again, more like a phone call. And that's what people want. People don't want the corporate, like the lighting and everything, and everyone's stiff and like they feel like they have to be all professional or whatever. We've seen enough of that, and that's not what like Americans want out of a presidential candidate interview with someone like Elon Musk. They want to hear what they're actually talking about behind the scenes, and that gives us a little insight into like what a phone call would be between these two men.
I thought it was genius. I want to play this. This first clip, but we don't want to drown everyone in clips. But like, there are some clips that must be played because the conversation was wide ranging was it over 2 hours, ALX?
Yeah, I think it was over 2 hours of actual conversation.
And I don't think there was any agenda. Like, I get no impression that like somebody had any, even like bullet points, right? Hey, Trump, we're going to talk about this, 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 and this. Like, I get no impression that was. One time Elon's like, what should I say next?
Yeah. He's like, oh yes, maybe we should talk about this.
these two billionaires just like chew the fat. But I loved the first question because Elon's like, what was it like getting shot? We have that clip. This is really important to like play for you. What is it like being shot here? Here's President Trump and Elon having that conversation. No? Okay. Klein's telling.
It's the shooting Believe in God one.
Clip D. Yep. Here we go.
I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear.
Yeah.
And because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, bullets, get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly. And we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down. So I'm glad I went down. The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter. And so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was
Yeah.
for those
Split
people that
second.
don't believe in God. I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually.
One final thing. And my favorite part isn't in there. My favorite part is him being like, Elon's like, what was it like being shot? And he's like, not great. Like, it wasn't
Yeah, it wasn't
great,
pleasant.
actually.
Yeah.
It wasn't pleasant. Yeah, okay, hold on. This is a
probably
play
get that
beside.
too. But
Yeah, here's a play beside.
Maybe we could start off with, the assassination attempt, which was an incredible thing. And I have to say that, your actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring. You, instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in the air and saying, fight, fight, fight. And I think that's, the president of the United States represents America. And I think that is America. That is strength under fire. And so that's, a big, part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having another term here is that was just incredibly inspiring. But what was it like for you?
Not pleasant. I have to be honest. I said there was blood. I had
Being
more
shot is
blood.
not
I didn't
much
know
fun.
I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about because it went at the right angle, and it was a hard hit. It was very, I guess you would say surreal, but it wasn't surreal. I was telling somebody you have instances like this, or like a lot less than this, where you feel it's a surreal situation, and I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear.
Yeah.
And because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, bullets, bullets, get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly. And we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down. So I'm glad I went down.
That was Trump's first line on the space. Like, the first thing he said was, not pleasant, there was blood everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had so much blood. It, like, set the tone for the
gonna
whole
say that,
thing.
yeah.
Like, right out of the gate.
Yeah, and it's funny, even like a week after he got shot, he was already joking about it and doing like a little bit of like ping ping, like his little sound effects or whatever, and joking about it. So it shows his sense of humor on it. And I actually saw I think it was NBC's national political reporter. She was like, "Oh, it's basically a rehash of the RNC. There's no new ground being covered here." I'm like, the dude got shot a month ago. Like, you wouldn't be talking about yourself getting shot if you did. Yet, like, Democrats are allowed to talk about January 6th for 3+ years, and that's all that they talk about. And she's just like, she was a whole thread, and she's like, yeah, there's no new ground being covered here. I'm like, okay, this lady's a hater.
There is new ground. So there are a number of new things that they talked about. Donald Trump said he wants to ban the Department of Education. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Elon Musk said that he wants to work in the federal government, which is wild. He said he wants to work on a specific commission for government efficiency, slicing and dicing the people the glut and the people who parasitically steal all of our tax dollars. This is what Elon and Musk said in that moment, and you may be seeing Elon Musk working in a President Trump administration. Let's go.
A lot of people just don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending because the checks never bounce when it's written by the government. So if the government spends far more than it brings in, that increases the money supply. And if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services, that's inflation. So really, we need to have we need to reduce our government spending, and we need to re-examine. I think we need like a government efficiency commission to say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not sensible? Right. And we need to live within our means. We're currently adding, I think, $1 trillion to the deficit roughly every 100 days.
That's right.
And the interest payments on the national debt have now exceeded the defense budget. It's on the order of $1 trillion.
It's interest.
And it keeps
Yeah,
growing. I mean, I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love
if it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, "You want to quit?" They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, "That's okay. You're all gone."
Legendary. I endorse that 100%.
I mean, why doesn't that exist? Right? Like, there is. So living in Washington, D.C. for 15 years, my wife worked for the VA, and she worked as an administrator at the VA in one of the tangential groups called Paralyzed Veterans of America. And the goal, we were able to see this like from the inside, right? Since she was sort of part of that leviathan of the federal government in a tangential way. The goal is to never, ever get a slash in your budget. You must always spend every penny you're given and then be at like a massive deficit. So the goal is to get as much allocation from Congress, as much cash given you from Congress, spend it in the stupidest possible way. Light it on fire so that you end up with zero money at the end of the year, never saving ever a taxpayer dime, and then go groveling back saying we need a bigger budget. All of Washington, D.C., it functions on who has the biggest budget. Whoever has the biggest budget, that's obviously where the priority goes. That's where the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And this is the, for lack of a better term, dick measuring competition in Washington, D.C. And so it's all these organizations that their goal should be to serve the American people and return on investment. That's what the free market does. In Washington, D.C., through federal bureaucracies, the goal is how much can you waste? How much can you squander? How much money can you just absolutely blow out of a helicopter blower straight into the ocean so that you get a bigger budget next year? And if you have a bigger budget, you have a bigger seat at the table. You're able to brag about how big your budget is. That's it. I mean, these people, like Elon Musk, there needs to be a commission like this. It's genius.
Yeah, one of the only people in Congress that I see even, doing anything relevant is Rand Paul. At the end of the year has his Festivus airing of grievances report, where he has the report of all of the government waste. So he would be, a good addition to that as well. But yeah, like you said, the entire thing about our government and DC in general is they always reverse the issue. They say, we don't have enough money, so we're going to raise taxes, instead of, we don't have enough money, we need to spend it like more wisely. So, having people from the outside coming in that don't have their interests, burdened by the fact that they need more money is the only way we're going to have accountability here. So someone like Elon Musk would be great for something like that.
Yeah, you're doing what? You're spending what? Where? Like,
yeah, exactly.
On what? Like, and what exactly are you delivering? Like, what would you say you do here at HUD, at Housing and Urban Development? Like, why does the government need to have any urban development? Like, the free market does fine on gentrification or developing what the free market can bear. If there is a market for it, it'll get developed. Why does there need to be a housing and urban development in the government? Or
the best is California too. They spent how many millions on fighting homelessness, and homelessness has stayed the same or went up. So it's like, okay, what did you spend that money on? Oh, we don't know. It went missing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There are many who would disagree, and I know this is a very, very touchy issue. And Donald Trump brought up, destroying the Department of Education. I doubt you disagree with that. But what I mean to say is the abortion issue. So with the Dobbs decision, the abortion goes back to the states, right? And Donald Trump messages on this all the time, saying, hey, you know what? The states decide. Every state gets to determine and ratify their own constitution. On the sensitive issue, the people get to say have a choice, right? Instead of 9 crusty old judges, the people get to have a choice, and you get to live in the states. And every state has different laws for millions of different things, whether it's housing, taxes, firearms, property, everything. you get to live in the state. There are 50 laboratories of democracy. You get to live in the state that best suits your needs. Okay, so I think that it's strong messaging. You know how pro-life we are on this channel, but like I think it's strong messaging to say the people get to decide. And with the Department of Education, you know, Trump's getting beat up about that this morning. Wow, how could he? How could he? You Krasenstein bros, you're having a total soy meltdown. But like, dude, Trump said yesterday, like, ban the Department of Education. Do we have that clip? It says ban the Department of Education, send it back to the states. The states should decide how children are educated, not the federal government. That's an insane thing for the federal government to decide. And so, you know, if you want the most horrible possible results, send your kids to school in California, right, or San Francisco, or some far left state. If you want really good results, then you can send your kids to school in a red state, where you can have an education department that's run from the state level. Mm-hmm. I think it's genius messaging.
The other thing too is they always like to trap them on the abortion thing. Would you sign an abortion ban federally or whatever? The problem with that is that like we can't even pass a bill stating that only illegal immigrants can't vote in our elections. How are we going to pass a national, abortion ban? So that's the trap that they always put him in. And then like on both sides, the pro-life people say, oh, he refuses to take that position. It's like, well, he's walking into a trap because it's an unrealistic position. He did his job. We fought for 50 plus years to get Roe v. Wade overturned. He did it. And people are mad because he's not apparently doing enough when he's done the most for the pro-life movement in 50 years.
Reverse engineers that though, because the goal for any conservative, for any actual libertarian conservative who wants less government, I don't know conservatives, I guess like the Cucks for Kamala group, right? Like, but I don't know conservatives who want more government. I don't know them.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, that was George W. Bush, and look at how well that's aged. Terribly. And so like a national abortion ban would be more government. And more government intercession in all of our lives. And so it's like antithetical. The entire question is insane because it's antithetical to the whole point. The whole point was kick these huge issues back to the state and more importantly, back to the localized community. The best governance you're ever going to get and the most direct governance you're ever going to get is your town mayor, your county councilman, the people who like live in your neighborhoods, the people who know the potholes that you hit on your way to work and are annoyed by them as well. That's actually direct democracy. That's the best way it should work. The federal government should get the F out of everything else, right? And that's actually the way it was designed. Yep. Dude, if you want to change your community, if you want to change like something going on in your city, you go to your local, ombudsman. They have different names for them in every city. You go local, right? And you get it done there. And most people, if they want to affect change, they run for a local office, right? Mm-hmm. State representative or whatever. So, yeah, the entire question is of course the Department of Education should be destroyed, along with the Department of Energy, along with HHS. Like these things can be handled by the state and it can be handled far more efficiently and effectively, and there can be less blackmail. Because that's what they do, right? If you don't adopt woke propaganda and the woke ideology, they just sign in California. Like the state can take your kids. Yep. Like if you're not down for that, then that's totally evil. Right? Like,
100%.
But if you live in California, you effectively say, I'm okay with the state coming in and taking my children. And that's bro, that's wild. Bro, that's crazy. Okay. What's up? What's the, do we have it?
I think
we actually have it.
Education. Yeah. It's
okay. Let's roll with it. Let's roll.
Closed up Department of Education, move education back to the states where states like Iowa, where states like Idaho, not every state will do great because states that basically aren't doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. But of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do great, and 15 of them, or 20 of them, will be as good as Norway. Norway is considered great. You can name them. I mean, they're so good. Some of these countries are so good. But if you go into some of these really well-run states, we have states that don't know what debt is. We have states that have low taxes, no debt, everybody working. They're really well-run.
Sure.
And maybe they have certain advantages in terms of location, in terms of, the land or the sun and the water and the whole thing. There are a lot of advantages that some people have. But if you moved education back to the 50, you'll have some that won't do well, but
Son.
they'll actually be forced to do better because it'll be a pretty bad situation.
Yeah,
But if you think about it,
yeah,
you'll have some of
yeah.
these states. I'll bet you'd have 30, 35 states. It'll be much better. And you know what it'll cost? Less than half what it is in Washington. And these people don't care about the students in these, faraway states. And it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
So this is great messaging. This is fantastic messaging. The reporters saying that that this was just like Donald Trump not making any news are insane. Elon Musk says he wants to work for the government. Donald Trump says he believes more in God now, that he saved his life, that it was not pleasant getting shot. Donald Trump and Elon Musk arguing and fighting over EVs and electric energy. This is one of my favorite memes from last night. Trump showing Elon he could just put solar panels on top of his cars to charge them. That did happen during the conversation.
So funny. I love when he says stuff like that. And Elon's like,
Elon, why don't you just...
Imagine if it actually worked, though. Did you see it on Tesla for like 2 years?
Trump did straight up say that. So I want to show you guys something. We had... to show you the kinetic power of what happened yesterday. We had record breaking streams. And I posted about it. I said thank you. We posted about it not to pat ourselves on the back, merely to say that this was a massive kinetic energy of this moment. People really were ravenous to listen and to hear. And one of the first comments was my boy Jeremy from the Quartering. ALX, look, he's got the gold check mark. Look at that. He's got the gold check mark. We got to get the gold check mark. From the Quartering, Jeremy says his Rumble peak was twice ours. 140,000 people watching on Rumble. This is massive. This is like as big as like you get on like cable TV. Like he's beating cable TV shows. And ladies and gentlemen, you know Jeremy from the Quartering. He joins the program live now. Look at your boy. Look at this, Jeremy. Good job, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I think a good friend is somebody who, when they see their buddy getting a little too big for their britches, they've got to remind them of their actual role out there. And I think that was it was actually insane. You obviously generally have far more viewers than me, so I had to take the wins where I can get them. But yeah, it was. I was watching your stream. You were way up there. And then I think once people could get into the X stream, then like our numbers dipped a little bit. But I was a little sad that it suddenly worked. But that's okay. It was still wild. It was wild to see the amount of people live on Rumble watching it. I think the real numbers are obviously, it's definitely close to 50 million to 100 million. I think people that actually listen to the video interview, the seismic, I don't know if you saw the tweet that Elon put out where it was, an infographic of like 1,000 negative headlines from last night. Yeah, it was great. I hope I wish Trump would do it every week. Maybe not for 3 hours, but he should do it more.
We put up a poll yesterday. Like, do you want this to happen like every single week? We call it a fire space chat, right? So it's just fire space, and maybe like even at some point, Elon Musk and Donald Trump can sit by a fireplace. There are plenty of fireplaces at Mar-a-Lago. Mm-hmm. Sit the boys down. So here's the graphic you were talking about of all the hate. I like sit the boys down and do this every week. I think Trump wins handily on election night if they do that, because you're able to hotwire the entire system and there's no middleman. This is actually the best Trump, I would argue. Like Trump off the top of his head, like just chatting.
We got multiple amazing Trumpisms last night. Now we obviously know the rosy fat pig thing, but we've got the way, no way, which is classic. We had another stupid threat out of his stupid face. That was a classic. Calling that one guy a loser was also classic. As Trump settled in later in the interview, he was himself. He was funny. Like Trump's funny when he's like, off the cuff. So I think you're right. Also importantly, I would argue that it definitely gave us a break in the cacklementum or the Kamala nomenon. It's every headline out there is Donald Trump right now instead of shocking new poll says Gen Z supports Kamala. You know what I mean? Like all this literal fake news that they're putting out. So it's great to see that too.
Kamala, I mean, since you brought up Kamala, she had an ex-girlfriend meltdown last night.
Not great. Yeah.
Screenshotting texts, right? Like, you know,
yeah,
putting them up on Snapchat, and she was true, like reaching for the bottle of Xanax, getting in some yoga pants, girling from the couch.
Yeah, I think I was getting close once I saw my numbers hit 150,000 live viewers. I was like, "Where Xanax? Where's that?" That's but yeah, I mean, I did like the optics of, hey, the entire world's tuned into Donald Trump. Money, please.
Yeah, that's right.
Money, please.
Pop that up, by the way. Let's pop it up. We got the Kamala Harris is like, give it, yeah. The two worst people what was the line? The two worst people you know are talking. Give me $25.
Money, please, pores. Yeah, like it's just. I mean, I admit, even on all sides, this may be an unpopular take, but I'm full of them. Like, I don't love when politicians ask the plebes for money, especially ones that like on the national stage that have huge money coming in from like big corporate donors. But like, Kamala just stole $100 million from Joe Biden, and now she's like, money, please. I need just $25. Pores, help me out. Not a good look.
I promise I'll fix the economy on day one.
Yeah, day one. I haven't
do
been
you
in the office.
What would you say you do here?
Yeah, that's my favorite. And that's one thing I keep telling my friends and family to, when they talk to a Democrat and they're like, ooh, Kamala's going to do this. It's like, what has she been doing the last 3.5 years? What stopped her from stopping taxes on tips? Oh, what you mean she voted to keep the taxes on tips? And people, it's so, you guys got to be able to relate to this. Like, sometimes you just like, man, people are so stupid. Like, I can't, like, we're watching in real time the mainstream media apparatus, like, completely. Oh, she doesn't know where the borders are. What are you guys talking about? You far right extremists, Benny? That's crazy.
One of the speeches, she keeps giving the same speech over and over. Number one, number two, she was like bashing the fact that prices are too high, and then she's like, "Yeah, on day one we're gonna fix that." I'm like, so you're not going to tell the president, who you're vice president to, how to fix these prices if you know how to do it? So all of this time, these 4 years, you've known the secret to lower prices, and you just haven't told him. Like,
so
okay.
So your house is on fire, and your doggy is trapped inside, and there's two firemen outside, and one of them is clearly handicapped and has like a disease, and the other one is sitting there with the fire hose, with like their foot crinking the fire hose, being like, too bad. Yeah. It's a terrible thing that your house is burning, but you better give me money first before
I know I could fix it, but you're gonna have to elect me.
That's right.
It's extremely frustrating.
I can't help the handicap fireman who's here. Got my stiletto. Got my Louis Vuitton and my $60,000 Tiffany's necklace right on the fire hose. Here's Jeremy. You've been streaming. You're like one of the old wise sages of streaming. I want to ask you about this. How long have you been streaming, Jeremy? Like,
oh my God. Yeah, more than 10 years. Yeah,
10 years. Okay. Yeah. So I want to ask you about, do you ever steal someone's job from them and then hack into their YouTube accounts and then take their channels and then stream you stealing their literal job from them from their channels? Is this like a practice in humility? I mean, is this like some type of like Abu Ghraib?
I've seen it.
Humiliation.
I've seen it a few times with the crypto scams, but that's been about it. And that's, speaking of, I mean, Kamala Harris is basically a crypto scam. She's making you all sorts of promises about getting rich and fixing things, and then when it turns out when you actually connect your bank account, they just take all your money. Like, it's a perfect metaphor for her doing this, and it's it's wild to me. Obviously the hilarious part is that there's 500 people watching that. And
this was a big announcement. This was the VP, this was supposed to be the big one, right? Like, and there was 500 people watching.
Yeah. I wonder if, I was really hoping the Kamala nomenon or the Calculmentum or whatever would have dried up by now. But I really am thinking that, at some point the press has to, they have to, right? We're on almost day 20 of them just like letting her just coast. At some point, somebody's got to say something, right? I would hope.
Yeah, she's answered 3 questions so far, and 2 of them were the same answers. 2 of them were about the debate. And then the first one was her answer where she just talked in circles about diplomacy and how important the importance of diplomacy and having a diplomat and blah, blah, blah. And she went in circles and circles. That was the first time she talked to the press. And then the other 2 were about the debate. Those are the only 3 questions that she's answered since replacing Biden.
Are you guys feeling a sense of existential dread like I am, where it's like, I'm letting the bad thoughts creep in a little bit? Like they're going to protect this woman for the next 3 months. They're like CNN's going to protect this woman for 3 months. Nobody's going to ask her any questions. And she, for some reason, for a woman that like basically, in my opinion, cooed her way into the incumbent presidency.
Yes.
She is she has the power. So she's not going to agree to do 3 debates with Trump. She's going to do the 1. I don't know if she'll do a town hall. I hope so, because I'm just basically on the mathematical equation is the more words that come out of her mouth, the less votes she gets. But I'm feeling, how do you stave off? How do you push the ghosts away when you're looking at these betting markets who are like, oh, she's up by 15 points in the betting markets? I'm like, what? I don't understand any of it. It feels like it's all a facade, but I keep waiting for it to go away.
The only thing that gives me some confidence is the fact that it only took 1 debate to knock Biden out. So the fact that she's going to be on stage with Trump and she's going to be or going to have to be unscripted unless George Stephanopoulos like slips her the questions like Donna Brazile did.
No, he's gone.
Yeah, I know. Like the fact that she's going to be on a stage with Trump gives me some confidence that it might just be enough to, flip the script a little there.
We need Mean Trump back on stage.
Oh yeah.
He needs to make her crack. He needs a black woman is talking moment from her. Like that's like I think it was Michigan, right? Like we need more of that because people need to remember just how unlikable she is.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try and white pill here for just a second.
I have a prescription. I need it filled, Benny.
I was try and white pill. And I hate to put the same thing. I hate to put the same thing back up, but we all saw millions of people trying to listen to President Trump and Elon yesterday. And again, Kamala cannot crack 1,000. She can't even crack half. She can't barely crack 500 on these announcements. And why? And you guys both do this professionally, and not to jump super deep into the technical elements of live streaming, but live concurrence is a direct correlation to the number of people who are actually energetic about what you're doing. Mm-hmm. The number of people you can bus into a stadium for a pack of cigarettes or call as actors from LA to come to Phoenix, Arizona, which they did, because you have the listings there. This isn't real. I think it's astroturfed, and I think the reason why they did this so late in the game, they cheated, right? It's important to say this. She was illegally installed. They cheated, and they've all admitted they cheated. The cheat is we knew we were going to lose, so we changed the player. They cheated, and they're hoping that the sugar high is enough to get them within the margin of fraud, right? And then shenanigans. But I don't think that the sugar high I'll tell you this. I would be blackpilling right now if Kamala Harris wasn't currently vice president. I think that the gravity of her being the current vice president for the last 4 years is enough to weigh her down through the identity politics barrage psyop that we're living through right now, right? Because that's effectively what we're living through. Also, man, bro, her first decision was to pick a stolen valor, absolute goof troop, who is one of the creepiest, strangest, freaking weirdos out there, and maybe she might have to actually dump him from the ticket. That's the rumor going around. Because he's
good. Yeah, that would look bad.
Yeah.
Also, sorry to interrupt, but also one thing I try to white pill on is the fact that she picked Tim Walz means that is not an aggressive move. That's we need to fortify Minnesota and the Midwest. I think if she thought she was ahead, they would have picked Shapiro, even though he had some baggage. The other white pill is now polling has never been worse. Okay, it's never been worse because polls have become content now. So if you start looking at like even RCP and all this stuff, it's like, what is this poll? I've never even heard of this poll. And then you get spawns 100 articles that all say some shock new poll, blah, 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 blah. But just for the fun of it, right now, the RCP average on polls has Harris up 1.1. There are 2 new polls that came in from Morning Consult and Ipsos. Okay, fine. She's up 1.1.
Suppression polls. Those are fake.
Yeah. Today in history, okay, in August 13th, 2020, Joe Biden was up. Now, again, Kamala's up 1.1. Joe Biden in 2020 was up 7.5. And Clinton at this date in history was up 6.8. So, and by the way, Trump beat Clinton, obviously, and many believe he also beat Biden. But the point is, she's way pulling behind them. And at minimum, you could make the argument that Trump was a nail biter in 2020, and he obviously won for sure in 2016. So I'm hoping that, and again, these polls, I try to tell people, if I could borrow your platform for a second, Benny, if you're looking at poll data and you're doom pilling, you must, I don't want to hear you complaining about polls unless you click on the poll and then you scroll all the way down to the bottom where they show the actual people they polled. Because once you do that, you generally find that they oversampled or undersampled at the most basic levels. And it will generally tell you the poll is baloney.
The only crosstabs I ever look at are likely voters in swing states. These general election polls are designed to psyop you. Here we go, October 24th, 2016, 1 week before the general election. All the debates were done. Everything was finished. The cake was baked for President Trump versus Hillary Clinton. All they needed to do was ride their horses through the week to Election Day. Donald Trump's chances of winning are approaching 0. Not 5%, not 1%, 0%.
Yeah.
From the Washington Post. This is what blackpilling looks like, okay?
Yeah.
And they're going to do it all over again, right? They're going to do the same thing. So you need to have your immune system built up against the black pills.
Yeah, I think one of the things you were saying before you brought me on about local government is very true. For example, there's a primary in Wisconsin today. Get out and vote no, or vote yes on both referendums, by the way, that allow our Democratic governor, Tony Evers, to spend federal dollars however he wants without oversight. But anyway, just like the local votes matter, if you spend a third of the time that you spend staring at polls and Polymarket and Predict It, trying to find just one friend, one reluctant friend, and you take their rear end, by the way, you're a private citizen, you can do that. You go to get a friend, you're like, let's get you registered. Let's go vote for Trump together. And if everyone does that instead of staring at these polls, which I 100% agree with you guys, they are designed to demoralize the base. Mm-hmm. They are designed to make you think you don't have a chance and you don't show up. What I will tell people to your viewership, I'm sure it's similar to what you're saying. I hope it's not the exact opposite of what you're saying, but it is my opinion that you vote early in person. As Bongino says, bank your vote. Yes, I know. Early voting sucks. Yes, I know mail-in ballots suck, but Democrats are doing it. And if you don't find yourself in line at 7 p.m. on election night when the machines accidentally break, then they can't prevent you from voting. Yes. And you can track your earlier in-person vote online to make sure they count it. And you can make sure you get that vote in. And then you can spend a week finding a friend or another friend and take them to vote. And that's how winning is done. Not staying online and doing what we do and doom pill and talk about this. It's all of our viewers that get out there and they get their aunt or their uncle or their cousin or their brother or their sister who may be apolitical, but it's like, hey, if you're apolitical, how about it's been a while since we hung out. Let's just swing by the early voting place and it's done it. If you vote early, it is so painless. There's never anyone there. You're in and out in 5 minutes.
Yep.
That's my pitch. Sorry.
I voted early in the Florida elections of 2022. It was easy peasy, man. I did in the last 2 elections. I literally walked in at 11 o'clock in the afternoon and walked out 3 minutes later.
It was the easiest thing I've ever done. I forget, you might know the URL, but I think it's like YouGov or something. You can track and see that your vote's in. You can see that it was counted. You can see who you voted for, make sure that kind of stuff. And then you don't have to worry about it. Then if something happens and you get in a horrible car accident, you don't end up voting Democrat.
Yeah, that's true.
Here we go. The top battlegrounds, a Real Clear Politics average. Donald Trump leading in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 swing states, and within the margin of error in places like Wisconsin and Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, if this holds correct, then you're looking at Donald Trump winning on election night in a map that looks like this. Now, this is tighter than it would have been with Joe Biden. With Joe Biden, Donald Trump would have been up above 300.
I think so, too. Yeah.
But they cheated, okay? Listen, they're cheaters. They're cheaters, all right? They're the nasty, wretched girl from your hometown who's cheated on every boyfriend she's ever had. These people have cheated every single time they've gotten a chance. They have cheated and bent the rules, and they're doing it right now. The goal was for Donald Trump. Donald Trump was going to face Joe Biden. Joe Biden said God himself could not get him out of the race. Joe Biden posted on X 24 hours before his suspicious dropout letter with the signature that didn't look like Joe Biden's, which Nancy Pelosi says didn't even sound like him. He posted 24 hours before then, I'm staying in the race. I think they've deleted all these ALX, have they? Have they gone and like shame deleted these posts? Okay.
No, they're still up.
Well, you say God himself couldn't get rid of him, but Nancy Pelosi is probably a little bit closer to the devil than God. So perhaps it wasn't God that got Joe Biden.
Jeremy, I would never say anything like that. I'm just quoting Joe Biden.
I know you wouldn't say that.
Mr. Catholic Joe Biden said in that George Stephanopoulos interview, like that God isn't coming back and isn't telling him to get out of the race. So then something happened, right? Tucker predicted this. Rod Blagojevich, governor of this state right here in Illinois.
Shout out to a Blagojevich mention.
Blago, baby. Blago. Also, what's going on with your state over here? Jeremy, what's happening out here?
I'm doing everything I can. We were red in 2016. Then,
what's going on with this oven mitt?
400,000 votes at 2 a.m. in Milwaukee is what happened in 2020.
Right. So Blagojevich says, I know exactly what they did to Joe Biden because they did the same thing to me. They walk into his house, guys in dark suits walk into his house, put a file on his desk and open it up and say, oh, you think we haven't been watching you for 50 years?
Yeah.
Like, be a shame. Would be just a shame if your grandkids had to go to prison for this, and this. And Biden drops out. That's what Blago told us.
You're 100% right. Basically, everybody in government has a file like this, even the guys that we probably like. Because you don't get to be in those positions of power without compromising yourself. I wish that weren't the case, but it just simply is the case. And that you end up with you're useful until you're not useful. They pushed. I mean, I agree. If Joe Biden stays in the race, Trump wins. Trump doesn't even have to campaign. He wins with 300 electorals. It's one of the biggest blowouts in history. I think that Trump can still win in 2024. I think he will win if people ignore the noise, the swing states. Look, win Pennsylvania, pick off one of these Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesotas, or pick off, get Arizona, Virginia, Vegas, and he just wins. It's that easy. Like he's just gotta. I think what do you guys think about this? This is a criticism. He's got to get out there more now. It's time to go.
Yes.
Like it's time to go, dude. Like I know your rallies are fun and stuff like that. But you got to go, baby. Like Kamala's out there. He's got to go. JD Vance is not Donald Trump. I don't think sending JD Vance to Wisconsin matters as much. He's got to go.
We need 2016 Trump. You remember when he was doing like 4 events a day?
That's
he was doing like 4 MAGA rallies per day.
Yeah, he was doing. Yeah, right. He was doing one at like 2 in the afternoon. Then he was going to another state, and he's doing He has to do that. Like he has to get. Now it's time. He played enough golf. It's go time. Like by the end of September, he better be on the road every day.
So what do you think about this? I saw you posting about this. We were posting as well. I'm a I'm a massive fan of this the strategy that he has been employing with going outside of dinosaur media.
More.
Jeremy, you and I should go down and do like the mega stream with Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
I agree. I proposed, I think Elon retweeted it, no big deal. The Trump should just chill, sit down there with a 12-pack of Diet Coke and just bring people in all day. Yep. You get 30 minutes, you get 30 minutes, you get 30 minutes. And then it'll be everybody's biggest stream ever. So there's a huge incentive to do it. And Trump is just good when he's off the cuff. He's naturally likable. He should have a bunch of these other streamers on and just be cool on camera like he just always is. I agree. Yeah, bring us down to Mar-a-Lago for sure. That's more authentic than right now. Look, I'm not above criticizing Trump's campaign. Please stop bringing these like burnt out people to endorse you and then sell crypto coins or whatever the heck he's doing. Like a lot of these celebrities he's got around him are just grifting off of it. He's just got to get down, open up Mar-a-Lago, and just keep a steady stream of people like Aiden Ross, even like people who are not in our circles, like these kids that are really popular. He should be doing Full Send podcast more than once. He should be doing all this stuff because he can win with older millennials or younger millennials, and Gen Z that listen to these podcasts all day long.
Trump's out here with Aiden Ross doing 600,000 concurrents on Kick, which is just wild. Oh, here's the
shout out.
Post.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Yes, this is such an important point from ALX. The content from Aiden Ross stream went 10x more viral than corporate media interviews. It was all organic. My advice to Team Trump would be like, stop it with the Hannity interviews, right?
Yes,
the Hannity
please.
call-ins, like that isn't moving any needle anywhere.
Right.
It's just not. And I got no beef with Hannity, right? I got no beef.
They're already voting for him.
That like doing like these Laura Ingraham, yes, that's right. Like it's so recidivist.
Yeah.
And it's so redundant. And the redundancy actually hurts, right? And it's like Kamala Harris will go on The View, right? She'll go on The View. Kamala Harris did this cringe thing with Drew Barrymore. You remember that?
Yeah. That was
Mamala. It was the Mamala thing, and they got like
yeah.
they both got on their knees and like started crying. It was like super weird.
That was
like,
the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. But like Kamala Harris will go do that. Like Trump has to beat him to it, right?
Yes.
Of course they're gonna drag out Bon Jovi, okay, to do a show, right? Of course Sting's gonna play the guitar at one of these things. Like you have to counteract the Lady Gaga, right? Whispering Angels ad that she did with Joe Biden, right?
Yeah. Whispering Angels. Yeah, that's a nice reference, dude. I 100% agree, and I hope that somebody in the Trump campaign hears this because first of all, like you said, it's all organic. Second of all, it's free 99, baby. It costs you nothing.
That's
you
right.
just keep bringing these people in. You fly a bunch of, yes, obviously I would love to have him fly me down. We could talk about Section 230 and the Internet Bill of Rights and things of that nature. But like, even if it was not me and I couldn't directly benefit from it, it would still be what I'm suggesting. Like, fly these people down. Cost you nothing. And you just have an internet connection going. You do 30 minutes after 30 minutes after 30 minutes. we know he did 3 hours last night. Most of it, I will admit, he did get a little rambly, but like, you give them short, tight windows, you get 5 questions in. It'll be everybody's biggest stream ever. You'll turn them all into fans. And again, you don't ever have to leave Mar-a-Lago, and he can golf in between meetings.
You reach people that aren't watching Fox. Okay, again, no hate. I worked for Newsmax, but like, no hate. These audiences are in their 70s. That is a matter of fact. No hate. Okay. Like, we're all working together, but that's not, you're not reaching, you've already reached those people.
They're already voting for you.
You need to reach the Aiden Ross streamers, who I would assume that 20 is probably the average age of an Aiden Ross viewer.
Yeah, that was a big thing that people used to poo-poo it, was like, oh, his viewers can't vote. Yeah, okay, let's say 250,000 of them couldn't. Okay, you're still reaching 350,000 potential voters, and if you get guys like him I know this is going to sound lame because I guess once I'm over 40, I say old guy stuff, but like you can make voting for Trump cool. Like he's kind of started to do that a little bit where these like rappers are endorsing him.
Yep.
But like you could make voting for Trump cool. And then like these kids will go do it. You see these kids at the high school. Do you see, I don't know if you covered this, where the kids had like parking spaces at the high school and they could like chalk it. They made him get rid of the Trump thing. But like, that's cool, man. Make Trump the counterculture again. Make him cool. And you could do that by putting him on these streams. He's funny when he's a fish out of water. He's like, you know, when Aiden Ross is talking about Tupac and whatever, and he's like, oh, let's listen to Frank. Like, that's funny. Yeah. He's likable.
Tupac, I don't know about that. Have you ever heard of Marvin Gaye or the Village People?
Right, that's what he said. He's like, oh, we loaded up your playlist in the car. I'm like, oh, what's he gonna play? He's like, oh, isn't that just great? Frank Sinatra, one of the best. Aiden Ross probably couldn't name a single Frank Sinatra. But like, that's funny. That's content. You know what I mean? Like that's, I think that's unscripted. Trump is how he won in 2016. The debates is how he won in 2016.
Yes.
Plus, he was flipping everywhere. That Trump bus was everywhere. He did a rally in my hometown in West Bend, Wisconsin. Okay, so he did a rally at the fairgrounds that year. Like he has to get back out there. He can't just coast now. He could have done that with Joe Biden, but he's got to get out there.
This is awesome.
Yeah, there
this
it is.
What you're talking about, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I would argue more than any single algorithm that they ran for the election, the fact that this was the first election in your lifetime or my lifetime where the Republican, well, since Ronald Reagan, I was born in the last years of Ronald Reagan's second term. This is the first time since Ronald Reagan that the Republican has more cultural power than the Democrat.
Yeah.
Now, the deficiency between Biden was catastrophic, right? So the left completely runs on their cultural power, right? Their ability to call in Jeremy Renner, you know, or what, you know, who's the white guys for Harris, like,
oh my God, Ben Stiller. Like, all Jews wish we were black. What?
Dude, hey, what? You're the guy who made Robert Downey Jr. black in Tropic Thunder. Okay, now I get it.
Weird. Yeah, like, well, actually, now, it makes sense now.
Right. So it's like Donald Trump there was a catastrophic deficiency in cultural power for Joe Biden. There was imagine the clown makeup you got to put on every single morning to go get your soy latte as Harry Sisson. If you're Harry Sisson and you were out like in May and you were like it's like scream posting through the tears that Joe Biden's like your best friend and how cool Joe Biden is and how honored you are to support him. Like, imagine how painful those posts must have been.
Yeah.
I think the point of Kamala, and forgive me for this long-winded point here, the point of Kamala was to narrow that gap, right?
Yeah,
so now you get like the intersectional and like the kind of like the history
cool
kind of thing.
You
smash like Hillary Clinton and Barack together, right? And you get like these firsts, okay? You get people part of this historic moment. Who cares about the candidate? It's a historic moment. And you're able to narrow the cultural deficiencies. I think that's actually what they obsess over those kind of things on the left, and they were horrified. That's why they put Joe Biden out to pasture.
Yeah. Then one day after the election, we'll know the truth, and Joe Biden will probably say it, because at the end of the day, he's a proud man who spent almost his entire life in politics. I think that it could be, you know, you could see anything. You know, Jill Biden didn't like Kamala either. Like they didn't so I mean,
they all hate each other.
They hate each other.
Yeah. So you could see, you could see anything implode here leading up to the election. You're right. The id poll stuff, it works for a certain chunk. I don't know about the undecideds. My biggest concern is that the Kasich effect that I talked about with Styx Hexenhammer shout out is that Kamala is basically just a stand-in NPC Democrat. And that's why she has all the momentum, is because nobody knows who the heck she is. The same thing happened with Kasich back when he was polling so good. Nobody knows who she is. So what Trump's got to do is if she won't come out, he's got to drag her out. He's got to make insane, all sorts of wild claims about her on live streams that she has to respond to. And like, you have to force her hand to respond to stuff. Find every little scandal that she's ever in and bring it up. Like last night he brought up Tampon Tim. genius. Okay, he's got to keep doing that to force them to come out and be like, well, yeah, actually, I mean, I put tampons in the little boys' room, but like that's the only way that they're going to address anything, at least in my opinion. Otherwise, they're going to just hide.
I think Elon called Kamala an NPC last night. Did he do that? Elon said she's an NPC.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, yeah, that she is. I mean, she literally is like, I'm just here to be black and female, and you stupid white people with white guilt are going to vote for me. So Trump's got to get her out there. He's got one debate. That's all he's going to get. So he better, that
was fake news. So Trump saying that there were going to be that Kamala's agreed to 3 debates. Did I misread that? I've been offline for like 24 hours.
Trump agreed to 3. She did not agree to all 3. Okay. Her position is we're gonna do the Stephanopoulos one, and then we'll discuss maybe doing other ones after that.
Ex-girlfriend energy, man. Yeah. I can't believe who writes this stuff. We're not calling it X. Can you imagine like 4 more years of it? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's excruciating. Yeah. We're not going to call it X, they said in their little press release last night.
Yeah, but you're still going to post on it and you're going to pay for advertising on it. So
there you go. We're not calling it X. Okay. Like who writes these? Brie Larson? Like who's writing this? It's like the MCU fired everyone and now they've gone over to go work for Harris Walls.
Take that, Elon. We're calling it Twitter. We're dead naming you.
They've got it. That's right. They've got it. That's got to really scare the hell out of them because Elon Musk owns Tesla. He owns Lower Space, SpaceX. These are cool companies. People like them. They have cultural value. These companies have cultural value. Mark Zuckerberg coming out with his his
new rebrand.
Gen Z rebrand being like, that's the most badass thing I've ever seen. Donald Trump do that. That's a bigger fire than anything. Right? That it's acceptable to wear a MAGA hat walking down the street. That is so hard. They worked so hard to make that unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's acceptable to wear a MAGA hat down the street. It became today, I think, right now. Like you can now walk into any restaurant you want with a MAGA hat and know that like probably you're going to get more fist bumps than people hissing at you.
It used to be, I would call them, it's not my term, but you get like low bones. Where people would be like, give you a little on the low, or they'd be like, but like now it's more, you see a lot of Trump merch. My assistant is currently wearing a MAGA hat at work. So like, it's,
are they there right now?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, okay. You pop on the stream.
Pop on the screen.
I want to see what MAGA hat. We're MAGA hat aficionados around.
Oh, I have the best one.
You want to see which ones? Dark MAGA. There you go. What's going on?
I have the dark MAGA one somewhere.
Wait. Show me the gold. Is it the gold? Can you get up on the cam?
I want my gold one. She's
got the white and gold, which is was a sharp look.
She has white and gold, but I have the gold on gold, which was sold out. Got the camo one, which is popular in Wisconsin. It's downstairs, but I have the gold on gold. That was at the RNC. That was the hat, the gold on gold with the gold American flag, like very Trump. Like you wear that while pooping in a gold toilet, like it's gold all the way. Yeah. That, it has definitely become culturally cool. I think he needs to play into that. I think he needs to bring on more streamers, and then he needs to hit the road probably by September. Oh, that's a classic too.
I will admit that inside of the studio for years we've been rocking the Kid Rock for Senate hat. A reminder that Kid Rock did toy with a Senate run in 2018, and could absolutely have won Michigan. He could have won a Senate seat
at that time. I think so. Yeah, at that time. Now you have to be Muslim to win Michigan, but or anti-Jew, I guess, but. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. If he can make it cool, he can continue to play into the mega on cool. We're cool. Harris is dorky and stuffy, and she doesn't. I think. By the way, I think
Tim Walz has stolen valor. I mean that hits, man. I'm gotta tell you,
stolen valor. I have still been unable to debunk the other rumor about him, which I won't go into much detail. But I've been looking for somebody to debunk his equestrian career, I guess I would call it, maybe. I'm just saying I haven't been able to debunk that, and that's going around the internet, so I don't know. I would not want to vote for that guy, but ultimately if that they can like pin them as the dork establishment people and Trump as the wild card, I think that helps. I think hit Gen Z. I think Trump continues, in my opinion, needs to keep telling people to vote early in person. I don't want to see what I saw in 2020, where people in Maricopa County were standing around at 8:59 and they were getting turned away. Like, I don't want to see that. Oops, the machine's broke. Oops, what a winky dink. Yeah, I don't want to see that. I'll go in person, find out. You can usually like 2 weeks early, some places earlier. Go bank your vote, and then spend another week or two, trying to find another person or two that can go do it. Because I can promise you the Democrats are doing it. That's how they won in 2020. They were going door to door being like, let me help you fill out this ballot. 90-year-old woman who lives in a retirement community. Trump, MAGA has to do that. I'm sorry. You can call it scummy all you want, but that's what they're doing. So you got to do it.
So a couple of important things that sort of augment what we're talking about here. One,
there's no sound or fume.
There is nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
so
all there
for
is.
all of
to
us
it.
who are used to
Every morning
filling our tank, you usually can smell it and you can hear it. You can hear the guzzling sound.
She keeps trying to wiggle it around too.
So how do I know it's actually working?
It is.
This is why they're not letting Kamala Harris do any interviews.
Vice President scheduled
this is her
today?
spokesperson this morning. This is her spokesperson this morning.
Well, she's traveling and talking to voters and getting her message out there to the American people, something that she's been doing from the very start of this campaign and something that she certainly did when she was President Biden's running mate as vice president. But look, you just mentioned the speech she's going to be giving.
I was asking about today, and I don't think she's got any campaign events on the schedule today, does she?
Whoa, CNN?
Well, she and Governor Walz have been traveling across the country. They hit nearly every battleground state last week. On the campaign trail, they raised $36 million within the first 24 hours of Governor Walz joining the ticket. And what she's going to be doing Friday is taking her economic message directly to the voters in North Carolina. I certainly don't want to get in front of exactly what she's going to say, but she's going to talk a little bit about how she's going to make sure that she's putting consumers first as part of her economic plan. She's going to take on corporate price gougers. She continues, and I look
to do an interview. She wanted to do, I think we all do, and I'll ask you more about that in just a second. The reason I was asking about today is because it seems like she has time if she wanted to do an interview with a member of the media or do a news conference, correct? There does appear to be that time if she wanted.
CNN.
Well, look, she has said on the campaign trail that she would be doing an interview at some point.
Just one.
She said that, I think, last
By
week
the end of the
during...
month.
She'll do one interview. She'll do one
By
interview.
the end of the month.
Why will she do one interview? Jeremy, I have the proof as to why you would never, if you actually want Kamala to win, let her do an interview.
Rapper alive.
Tupac.
Oh,
Best rapper alive.
Tupac.
he's dead.
He's dead.
You said he lives on.
Well, not a lot. I know. I keep doing
Listen to Angela Rye try and save her.
Listen
how
West
desperate they
Coast
are to
girls think
save her.
Tupac lives on. I'm with you. So Tupac, keep going.
Ask the question.
That. Who would I say? I mean, there's so many. I mean,
She can't name one.
Not even Quavo.
There are some that I would not mention right now because they should stay in their lane. But others.
What?
I don't know what that means. I want to know who one of those are.
And then watch this.
Okay, all right.
Keep moving.
All right.
Keep moving. I don't know any rappers. Keep moving.
Yeah.
Keep moving. Keep moving. Meanwhile, you have President Trump. Hold on. Where's my President Trump rappers clip? Klein. How dare you, ladies and gentlemen?
What an embarrassment.
How dare. I love this is one of my favorite clips. One of my favorite clips ever. Here we go.
Well as rapper,
Best rapper alive.
Chef G. Does everybody
Chef
know
G.
Chef G? Where is Chef G?
An obscure local
Where is he?
rapper.
Come on up, fellas. Rapper Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Come on up here, fellas. How are you, man? Hey. Oh, I like that. I want to get that done.
Oh, I like that. I want to get that done.
President Trump. Oh man,
he's starstruck.
One thing I want to say. One thing I want to say.
This is in Harlem.
They always gonna whisper your accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us. Make America great again.
And Kamala can't even answer who's the best rapper alive.
I don't know if you saw or if you already played this too. CNN, I could tell CNN's getting a little salty because there must not like we don't have anything to cover other than Trump. There was a clip where CNN last night after I just quote tweeted it's at the top of my timeline, where they're like, oh, it was just more misinformation and threat. And then I think they accidentally or purposely called her out because the one clip they played was Donald Trump saying that she won't do interviews and that she's stupid. Like, I think that CNN is actually like low key pissed off that she's not doing any press with them because they don't have anything to talk about.
CNN's owned by Trump supporters now. Okay, so Zaslav,
that's true. Yeah,
who bought the Warner Brothers, right? So Discovery buys Warner Brothers, that they own CNN, right, through Cutout, and so this guy is like a low-key Trump supporter, and he's more like, I just want to make money. And the best rating CNN had in the last 4 years was when President Trump was live on their network. Remember that Caitlin Collins?
Yeah.
Mr. President, Mr. President. Oh, I got to whip it out.
Did you see is that the chick who was on Colbert last night where Colbert was like, oh, I know you guys are definitely unbiased, and the crowd busts out laughing. She's like,
wasn't supposed to be a laugh line.
How dare! Like, whoops. No, even Colbert's quintuple jabbed audience knows that CNN's fake news.
So here's what we're missing, boys. This is why I white pill. Okay, this is why I white pill. This is the offering to Kamala supporters. Kamala is nowhere to be found, doing no interviews, doing nothing cool. Okay, can't name a rapper except for her friend Quavo, talking like I walk it. Mark Hamill is doing Republicans for Harris Zoom rally.
Yeah, everyone's favorite Republican.
Yeah, a well-known Republican. Him and Stephen King both will appear on that live stream and really change some minds.
Hey, Alex, did you know that we're at the top of Mark Hamill's feed right now?
I did not. Oh my gosh.
Wait, what?
Face.
I know,
oh
so
my
face.
God.
I got ratioed by Mark Hamill before, so
yeah, it happens.
Good old Mark.
Yeah,
suck it, dude. Not the way Tim Waltz does. Okay, like that.
No,
like that.
Just stick to the green, milk.
Only, that's right. That's exactly right. The green alien milk.
Stick to denigrating one of the most popular masculine heroes in all of history.
Look at his cover. Look at his cover image and everything. Oh, grotesque. You remember when you're like I just can't. I know it's a free flowing conversation. Gina Carano was straight up fired for stuff far less than this, right? And they said she was getting political. And here's Luke Skywalker himself, who apparently is going to be rolled into more Disney Star Wars projects, doing this. I mean, it's a despicable company.
Well, I'm glad. I like that they do this because this will all come up in Discovery with Disney's lawsuit with Gina Carano, stuff like Pedro Pascal posting literally the same thing, calling half of America,
Nazis.
Nazis. Yeah. So I'm fine with all this because all this is stuff that Gina will be able to point to and say that, hey, well, it's not that I talked about politics. It's that I talked about politics that Disney didn't like. And that's how she's going to win her lawsuit, I think.
I hope so. She got past Discovery, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah, it's moving forward. And I think I hope that she wins bigly. And I hope that, by the way, Elon did officially endorse Trump last night. I don't know if he had officially done so before, but that's good.
He did when he got shot.
He did.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that we get more white pills, and then the cackle momentum slows down a little bit, and Trump's got to get out there, do some more live streams, bring Benny down there, and ALX and the quartering, and then also some actual cool people. Bring some of those down too, and no more of these. I wrote a song about MAGA, and I want to get #1 platinum record. Real people with real audiences who will motivate them to go vote, and I think that would be important.
And actual audiences that are kinetic and like real, and that comment, like the chat. We just freaking shout out to the chat. We just love the chat. We love you. We thank you. You clearly love Jeremy.
Shout out chat.
Yeah, what's up, chat? So I want to give I want to just give a final. Can't kill an idea. So the final thing I want to say, and I want your take on it, is I personally believe that they know that they have horrible damaged goods here, and they're just looking to get. I think you look at like what Kamala's doing. I'm not sure she's exactly running a general election campaign. I got to be honest with you. These events that they're doing are closed. So this is my take on this. All right, these events they're doing are closed. They're not general admission events. You can't sign up. You have to get an invitation. They're not going to like convince the people. This is the ultimate white pill. Are you ready? The ultimate white pill.
I need it, man.
All right, here we go. We'll put on our. I never wear a hat. We got to put on our Kid Rock hat to do the ultimate white pill.
All right.
So these aren't real events. They're doing events in like Indiana and Minnesota. She picks Tim Walz. And the reason she picks Tim Walz is apparently Josh Shapiro kind of like eased back. And what I believe is going to happen is they have the knives out for Trump. I think that they're going to, she's not smart enough to understand, but they're going to actually run her into the ground. And they're going to lose maybe like by a little, but they're still going to lose, and they want to set themselves up. Trump's only one term. I mean, what an incredible shot on goal. You guarantee that Trump can't run again. Trump's just off the political field. You tie him up in lawfare and you tie him up in impeachments throughout his entire next term. You get a chance to like really message against MAGA again. And this is their game plan, and they want to then retool for 2028. And they build their ground game and build up like a Josh Shapiro or something. And then they go in for 2028 to like kind of, I think that's the ultimate white pill for this election, at least. That's the strategy. Kamala's damaged goods. Biden is damaged goods. We can't lose in a humiliation. We don't want the narrative that we've lost forever. We just need to lose by a little less. We know Kamala ain't going to do it. She has too much baggage. She's a sacrificial lamb that we shove out there. Is super humiliating, but we do our best to shore up our base, right? Let them know we're still here, and Trump's going to win.
I'll accept that white pill and add a secondary grayish pill and say that I agree. I hope you're right, but also I think that part of their strategy also is that they were worried about the down ballot destruction that Joe Biden would have caused.
Yes.
Not just that it would have been humiliating. It would have been like they would have got crushed in the Senate races and the House races, the local races. Kamala, I think, like you said, makes them look a little more competitive. Probably, like you said, preserves their reputation a little bit. They get to just say, well, America was racist and sexist again. They didn't vote for Kamala. And we'll see. Hey, if I can offer an option, Minnesota is a open primary state today, and Elon Omar is running for re-election. That's going on today. Could be a second squad member down, third squad member down. So there's that, and I think people are going to activate. I think it's going to be like 2016 again. Trump's going to be losing until he wins. I think that's how it's going to shake out, and then even after he wins, they'll come out and say, now Iran is their new one. Oh, Iran was hacking the election again.
I think there are some people. who actually want Kamala to lose, and that are really, really close with her. I think Obama actually wants Kamala to lose. They don't want to have to deal with Kamala.
No, I don't think Obama likes her. I don't think he does. They basically had to get pressured into endorsing her.
Right. It's going to be the Washington Generals, right? Like who lose against the Harlem Globetrotters, but they come out and they take the field. Like the goal is to lose, but to lose like without losing everything, right?
Yeah.
And so this is the ultimate white pill. So there we go. That's it. Jeremy, we have your channel up here. Please shout it out. Of course, everyone knows the quartering, but if you don't.
Yes, please do follow the quartering. I'm live every day at 1 Eastern. So after Benny, you can come watch my show and then stay entertained. I'm live Monday through Fridays on Rumble. Please follow me there. On YouTube, obviously you could follow me there too, but I prefer Rumble. And Benny, thanks for having me on. It was great meeting you at the RNC. And Alex, good to harass you at the RNC. Luke and I tried to pump him for some Elon information. He remains steadfast and loyal. And I appreciate you having me on. And now I'm going to go get ready for my live show. And best of luck to you all. And I'd love to have you on one day when you're finally free, which probably won't happen until after the election.
We would love that as well. We have our meme maker, our in-house meme maker made you a meme to send you off. Jeremy,
all right, okay.
Since you mentioned an interesting theory about Tim Walz, we have this for you.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Tim, no. Oh, they know. Oh, they know. The horses know. They're like, stay away from me. Yeah, poor Tim. Tampon Tim. He's another guy, like you said, Shapiro. I'm gonna go, but I would say Shapiro didn't want to lose. If he backed out, it was because he thought she was gonna lose. If he thought she was gonna win, he'd take it. That's what at least I would assume. But thanks for having me on.
See ya, Jeremy. Everyone follow the quartering.
Yeah, sorry guys for the quick out.
See ya, boys. All right. Whoa, that was rowdy. Rocking and rolling. So what like I noticed consistently everybody was like loving this, and we watched the chat like a hawk while we're live. And so, if you don't love a guest or you don't like what we do, we want to do a little more. Let us know if you like this, but we want to do a little more like free form conversation, a little more like streamers and online personalities in here. I know it's very important to have members of Congress, members of Senate, people running for president, people come on the show. Like people are banging down our door to come on this program because, well, I mean, honestly, it's a great way to get your message out there, and it's because of you, and we say thank you. But we also want to stay entertaining and keep the conversations more with more like online inertia and less like corporate box, Fox box, kind of like stand up and this is what we're gonna do with the budgetary new HB 175. We don't really book guests like that anyway, but we want to break out of the box a little bit. So Jeremy was just on for what, an hour? This is amazing. So Jeremy was just on for an hour. We love Jeremy, and I'm sure you followed his channel as well. We want to do more of that, right? More of that. That is like streamer culture, actually. And so we're trying here to build, much like if there's a big breaking news event, our channel will be live. We're trying to build a channel that serves you the very best, right? Also, those conversations are really fun. it's like you can't take a member of the Armed Services Committee, when not knocking the Armed Services Committee, but talk to them about Megan Thee Stallion and how excited Tim Walz gets when he heard that there was going to be a stallion at a Kamala Harris event, and then he was so sad to find out it was just a rapper, right? This is, you can't make that joke. Right, because Mr. Armed Services Committee is going to be like, more war. Yeah. So anyway, we're just trying. We're trying to mix it up, right? That is the spice of life. Speaking of very, very spicy lives, as we had just mentioned, we were live all night last night. We are live during breaking news events all the time. You maybe saw me drinking from my tank shell of a mug here, available at the Benny store at BennyJohnson.com, with the official Brigade artillery mug made by Liberty Mugs, which is so awesome. Of course, inside is going to be my blackout coffee. Y'all know it's the blackout coffee that keeps us going. It's the blackout coffee that fills our veins and that keeps them pumping with the energy to fight the communists. And to do 2-hour live shows and go live whenever. This is the blackout coffee. The reason why we love blackout coffee, 1, it's local. It's from America. 2, it's owned by patriots who love this place. And 3, 0% grift. A lot of these other coffee companies are quite woke. Even the ones that you wouldn't assume would be woke are actually quite literally woke. So ladies and gentlemen, go to blackoutcoffee.com. Be awake, not woke. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. That's blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Promo code Benny gets you 20% off your first order. Just a great cup of coffee, baby. Available also on Public Square, our dear friends at Public Square, doing God's work out here. Okay, doing God's work out here. We teased it in the open, and so we got to cover it, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump will sue the Department of Justice for $100 million for the Mar-a-Lago raid, alleging political persecution. I don't exactly know what portion of the law covers that. Maybe the Civil Rights Act? I'm not exactly sure. But Donald Trump did drop a bombshell lawsuit on the DOJ yesterday. Let's go ahead and see what the news is saying about it. And more importantly, what can we find in discovery? That'll be fun. Let's go.
The former president taking new legal action in relation to his handling of classified documents in that case?
That's right, Brett. Lawyers for former President Trump tell Fox they filed a notice that they intend to sue the Department of Justice and the FBI for $100 million over the August 2022 raid of his Mar-a-Lago estate for classified documents. Trump's lawyers claim the raid violated protocol, was, quote, unconstitutional, and should never have been approved by Attorney General Merrick Garland or FBI Director Christopher Wray. The Justice Department declined to comment, but has 6 months to respond to Trump's claim.
Oh, okay. Here's some of the documents coming from our dear friend Julie Kelly, somebody we love having on the program. Julie Kelly saying that there's going to be some really wild discovery here, and that you're going to be able to see exactly how biased the president is, the government is against the president, and how terrified they are of Donald Trump getting back in. And isn't that something we should all do together? Yeah, man, we should totally do that together. This is what the show is all about. Like, what can we facilitate? There have been some huge victories and some big wins on this program by all of us, like together, saying, hey, listen, like, do a real investigation of the Trump assassination. Like, Ronna McRomney, you shouldn't be RNC chairwoman. You're bad at your job. Go away. We've had some big W's. We really look forward to bringing you President Trump. This is not an announcement. This is simply an announcement of me announcing that we had President Trump's spokesperson on the show, Carolyn Levitt, dear friend, and she was saying, Benny, you're up. You'll do a stream with President Trump. She said it. We have it on tape, ladies and gentlemen. She said it. We have it on tape. So we need to deliver on that. And Donald Trump is doing these major streams. He's doing these massive, he's doing these massive, show me Aiden Ross. I want to see Aiden Ross dancing with Trump again. He's doing these massive streams across the internet. We mentioned it, so we might as well say it. And for those of you watching on Facebook, we say thank you. We love our 2 million, we love our 2 million person plus audience on Facebook. We love you and care about you.
I've done some stuff personally
Mark Zuckerberg talking about Trump.
Doing that this time, and that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. The historic events over over the weekend. And, on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, it's, and I think, look, it's, at some level as an American, it's like, hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
That is so awesome. We're not going to do some major show and be complimentary. We are going to, though, call balls and strikes. And that is Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. These guys are billionaires. These people they're changing culture. This is the cultural power that they're so scared about. So let's do more. We will dance with President Trump. We want to bring him live on the stream. Tweet, post on X. Hey, Trump, do Benny's show. We promised to bring you something similar to this. In fact, everybody who works at the show can tell you I have been obsessed technologically with getting the capacity to do something like this and even more cool, right? Getting the technology to really do quite an immersive event with President Trump. And so that's our promise to you. We say thank you for supporting us, even when we can't be online like yesterday, as we explained at the beginning of the show. This is about protecting our families. This is about protecting, this the point of the program. It's about creating a better place for our families. And sometimes the responsibility of a father is literally to just stop everything when your kids are in the hospital, all time and space like stand still, and you see one single goal. And so again, ladies and gentlemen, we're deeply thankful for your prayers, and we stay grounded in our faith. We witnessed a miracle. My family witnessed a miracle this weekend, and we are thankful to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for that. It's why we do a verse of the day every single day from Job. Oh yeah, baby, let's go. Job, the Old Testament. Let's roll them out. But if I were you, I would appeal to God. I would lay my cause before him. He performs wonders that cannot be fathomed, miracles that cannot be counted. Lay our appeals before God, giving advice being given to Job by wise men. And then God hears us, right? Knock and the door will be opened. Like ask, and ask in repetition. Seek and you will find. Ask and it will be given unto you. And we live like that. We live like that, and we know ultimately the victory is ours. So all of this stuff, it's fun to fight about. It's very interesting to watch. There's never been a more interesting time in American politics, ever. It's very interesting to watch. It's fun to be part of. We wish to bring this all to you as best as we possibly can. We thank you for supporting us, ladies and gentlemen. Go to the Benny Brigade, BennyJohnson.com. You could sign up to be part of our Benny Brigade and support our work here and our mission here, which is to bring you the best and the most entertaining news and guests. And we'll be here for you. Please be here for us. Thank you so very much again. Yeah, let's go, baby. We're heading to the DNC next week. Wow. Heading to the DNC next week. We will take you there. The Benny Bunker. We're building it right now, actually. We'll go to the DNC. We're going to have a lot of fun. So stay tuned. A shout out to the chat. We love you all. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
Where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be, faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.